Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Historical Humans Heritage. And today we are looking at the Fortifications of Vauban, a series of 12 fortifications in the country of France. But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know we now offer channel memberships, which if you do choose to subscribe for only $1 a month, you get early access to all of our videos as we record and upload them. So a little perk there, and you help support our channel. But now, back to our regularly scheduled content.
Yeah, so these fortifications are a group of 12 buildings that essentially encircle France. And they are known as the Fortifications of Vauban because they are the exemplary works of one Sébastien Le Pastre de Vauban, a military engineer under the ever so famous King Louis XIV.
Ooh, not the Louis XIV.
Yeah, the one and the same. So these were constructed to guard France's borders during the height of the French monarchy's power.
So, good old defensive fortifications.
And as we can see from the map, they do pretty perfectly ring the borders of France. We have several facing England, a few facing the Atlantic Ocean, one or two into Spain, Italy, Switzerland, was it the Low Countries, Germany? Everybody gets a fortress staring them down.
You get a fortress, you get a fortress, you get a fortress.
Yep. What is very fun about them is they're actually highly variable from location to location. The model for defense was adapted depending on where Vauban was. So some are full-fledged citadels, others are more along the lines of towers and outposts located in the mountains, as befitting the less expansive terrain.
See, I really like these coastal ones that are right upon the sea, and you can see just how close they are.
Oh yeah, the ones he built on the water are like built on the water almost. Like you almost don't see a foundation. It looks like it's floating.
Yeah. Wow, some of these are atrocious to see.
Yeah, no.
Wow. Yeah, that one's right in the cliffside. Some of these images are exactly like 3 pixels.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough.
Yeah. Yeah, the UNESCO page for this isn't as comprehensive or as high quality as we normally have, and it's certainly not up to the standards we would like to see. But it's 12 different fortresses throughout France. It's a little hard to get at.
Which is really neat because you don't tend to think about fortifications being something worthy of UNESCO. However, it really does seem to be quite valuable. And actually, in one of the images, you can see shrapnel on the edge of one of the fortifications. Image number 17 of the gallery.
Yeah, they did see battle on multiple occasions, a number of them.
Quite a few, yeah.
This is these properties are considered to be the peak of what is most classic fortifications, the typical sort of military architecture utilized by Western civilization, by Europeans during this period.
Very much in strategic locations, built along the waterways. This is the map that he was talking about earlier, showing the ring of sites around the edge. Yeah. So, quite around the modern French borders. It's crazy how the defensive structures tend to protect that.
This these are and these structures themselves are the typical version of what you would find in France or Denmark or Germany or Italy. This is the like if you were to have the stock, photo for what you would expect a 17th century fortification to look like, it would be one of these.
Well, and a lot of his works further went on to inspire the works of Turkish, English, American fortification structures. So, you tend to do pretty well for yourself when all your friends and allies start going, that's not a terrible idea.
and your enemies. I mean, let's be honest. The English are not a big fan of the House of Bourbon here with the French.
Is anyone though? Really?
Uh, the French are. I think they get along with Spain, mostly.
Yeah,
Uh,
we don't talk
yeah,
about the
yeah,
borders they share.
yeah. Additionally, these fortifications were in use in Europe as a major form of military defense until the mid 19th century, uh, which equates to about World War II when tanks happened.
18. Your dates are wrong, but
Oh no,
yes.
sorry, Napoleonic era.
18th century is Napoleonic, which these fortifications were heavily used in, but they were also utilized during World War II, which is where a lot of the shrapnel that we see on the buildings took place. Which is kind of interesting, seeing how that took place. But the Vichy France tend to utilize structures that were already there because war was imminent. So France built up and used a lot of old structures, and temporary governments also used those when they would come in and visit for an extended period of time.
Napoleon's early 19th though, so
I'm not talking specifically Napoleon either.
no,
I'm
no,
talking
just,
another European leader.
we were crossing a lot of days there. But yeah, anyway, like these get used. These get used a lot throughout history.
Well, naturally, with their prominent locations and along their borders, they're quite literally there to protect the borders and to protect the country. So the fact that they were getting used isn't unusual because they were literally built for the purpose.
But yeah, but like what I'm saying is like usually what happens like within 150 years, the fortification has entropied in terms of falling behind military technology or style.
Yeah.
And these stuck around for more than twice that, I think, because these would have been built by 1707.
And still in use in the 1900s. That's a good bit of time, a few hundred years. Versus some of the other ones where you see they have the old fortifications but new stuff built within that. That's very common, but to use it in its entirety, kind of neat. And one of the reasons these are on the UNESCO Heritage list is because of how inspirational these were, with how big of an influence these sites had, and with just how impressive Mr. Vauban's architecture style is for defensive fortifications.
Yeah, definitely.
Who would have thought defense could be beautiful?
Yeah, one of the things I find very fun, or at least funny, with this heritage site page is the final descriptor for it, where they talk about integrity and legal protections.
Mm-hmm.
It's so incredibly hand wavy. I love it. It's like the bureaucrats were actually bored that day.
Oh no.
Because here's what it reads: the property guarantees the integrity and authenticity, and reflects the various facets of Vauban's work. Its legal protection is satisfactory.
The state and local authorities provide satisfactory guarantees and responses regarding natural and tourism risks involved, pooling experience in the areas of restoration and enhancement of the properties. Interesting. That is the most nothing burger I've seen, and this has been inscribed since 2008. It's very common for new pages to have lack of information, but older ones.
Yeah, and like this is one of the things too. Like usually you state the various laws, you state the various protections, you state the various points of authenticity that are either held up as this is 100% genuine, or as hey, this is in danger of not being genuine. Yeah. Instead of just saying it's acceptable.
Yeah, it's satisfactory. Which that's not even a good thing. It just satisfies. It's satisfactory.
Yeah, it's like you've met our requirements. It's like
that's
okay, that's a C on the test, if anything.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up with this episode. It's kind of interesting, something a little different from what we normally talk about, and something that people may not realize is on the UNESCO World Heritage List.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.